And to elaborate on the report and assess U.S.-Russia relations, we're joined by the professor of Russian history at American University, Anton Fedyashin. Anton, welcome back to the show. First, your reaction to these U.S. intelligence reports, this new report giving high confidence that Putin ordered an influence campaign.
Read the report. It's 25 pages long. 5 of those pages have to do with the cyber espionage activities, and the rest of the report has to do with RT, which is a news network. There's absolutely nothing new in this report that we haven't heard already over the past month, and there's no proof for any of the allegations, which ultimately the United States will have to produce some of, at least publicly, in order to make these accusations stick. So nothing new, but there are 3 different issues that are constantly conflated, including in this report in part. One is hacking, which is standard procedure for all intelligence organizations all over the world against everyone else, including the United States, of course. Number 2 is the leaking of the information, which has been unsubstantiated. Did the Russians actually leak the information that they found? And there's really no proof of that yet. And then the third, of course, is the issue of the effect on the election, which everyone agrees there was none. And so all of this is balled up into a single issue and sort of presented in a very confusing way, unfortunately.
Right. The part that seemed new to me was where they are specifically bringing Vladimir Putin into a saying that he ordered this or did that. But as you mentioned, nothing else new there. So how does Trump navigate this with a lot of his party members against him, disagreeing with him on his stance there? He's offering to come up with some sort of plan in 90 days, but what would that be?
Well, that's a very good question. Vladimir Putin seems to have left Donald Trump sort of a doorway, an ability to choose from many different directions. By not expelling American diplomats in response to the Obama administration's reaction, he has left the ball in Trump's court, which, for one, takes the pressure off the incoming administration because they are now not pressured to respond to Russia's response. That's number 1. Number 2, I think that Trump is going to move towards de-escalating this tension, and it's going to create problems for him in Washington. But ultimately, I think he sees himself as a foreign policy president, but his vision of foreign policy is not to be nearly as engaged and proactive as the Obama administration has been, despite the rhetoric during the campaign. So I think what we're going to see with Trump is an increased amount of engagement with the Russians, which incidentally is probably a good place to start if you want to prevent things such as hacking happening in the future. Ultimately, however, all sides will have to start thinking in terms of an international agreement about cyberspace, because this is not legislated. There are no international laws that create any kinds of limits as to what states can do to each other. This is a perfect opportunity for the U.S. and Russia to spearhead an international effort about cyber security.
Last question. Do you think that could lead to cooperation in other areas?
Unfortunately, that we'll have to wait and see. Both Washington and Moscow have become very good at compartmentalizing cooperation, so hopefully this will begin a process. But Trump has been so positive in general about Russia that I'm cautiously optimistic that we will see a beginning of a new relationship starting on the 21st of January.
Another reset, as they like to say.
Hopefully this one will go better.
All right, Anton Fedyashin, as always, we appreciate your perspective.
Thank you.